Okay, I'm gonna put this out there right now. The single greatest episode of Gillette Drafted ever. Anthony Bruno takes a giant step forward. Brett Gonzalez, welcome to season 5. And of course, 5-time Teddy putting his foot in his mouth once again. But let me introduce our panel to us this week. We're missing Jackie Redmond. We'll get to her later. She's actually on assignment doing some Yates Cup stuff. Right. And we have Anthony Bruno and Brett Gonzalez joining us. How you guys doing?
I'm doing great.
Okay, so before we even get into anything, we want to know the hashtag. We want to know what you think. Obviously, we have Bianca monitoring Twitter the whole time. Do you guys kind of agree with Teddy? Do you think if he was hosting Joseph O'Toole and Harrison's group, whether he would have taken them to victory? Basically, what do you think about Teddy and how he felt about everything? Bruno wants to jump in there right away, I'm guessing?
There's no way. It's all about the overall chemistry of the group. I'm not saying that Teddy didn't do a good job, because he did. But I mean, the chemistry that me and Brett had to actually break down and analyze the game was fantastic. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to set up, a lineup for your post-game show.
It's very funny that we went into that right away, because we actually have Teddy on the phone. Teddy, you with us?
I am, guys. What's going on?
Okay, dude, I just want to start right off the bat. Do you regret now that your welcome moment, now that you saw it back?
The welcome moment? Yeah, of course I do. And there's everything about what everyone has just seen and went on. I kind of, not regret, but look back and think, okay, maybe I got caught up in the moment.
Because we were saying that, we saw some tweets, you giving some props to these guys, but in the moment, you clearly didn't, right, Teddy? I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot.
100% I did, Matty. I 100% thought that what I did was to the best of my abilities and help the team win. Now, looking at it, I 100% agree deserve not to have won that challenge.
Guys, do you want to respond to Teddy? I mean, because that was the first time you guys saw it. Do you have anything you want to say to Teddy now?
Well, I'll just say it to Teddy, and also to answer your earlier question, I have a huge amount of gratitude to Teddy, because I think the position of the host plays a huge role in whether or not a panel can be successful. And him being able to deliver those questions to Bruno and I for us to fire off our analysis worked really well. So I think what he did was great, and I do feel that we did have a little bit more time to talk, and the meat of our analysis was us talking more. So I do feel really grateful that Teddy did what he did, and sometimes it does look that he didn't have as much of a time to talk as we did.
And these guys learned a valuable lesson, Matt, and this is the thing, and I'm going to give you one for life right there. This business is a cutthroat business. Everybody and their mother wants to get into broadcasting. You guys know that because you're going through it. You work with the people you're put together. You embrace it, you love it, and you will do better. It's the people that are always trying to cheap shots at the guy you're working with, or I want to be better and help my career. It doesn't fly. The reason these guys won, it's like, you know what? We're in a competition together, but we're going to help each other by making each other look good, and it looks good on both of you. That's a lot of guys get in this business. They're snakes. They're going to try to, go about it the wrong way. Sure. You go about it their way, and you're going to be more successful. You know that, Matt. You've gone into this, and everybody and their mother wants to be on TV or radio. So the better way is be a man, have confidence in your own abilities, and when you work with somebody, bring out the best in them. Don't try to ever undermine them. That's why they won.
But to go to the other side of the topic then, is that did Andrew Corey cost Harrison in 02? Because obviously we saw the bow tie. We're going to get into the bow tie much later. But I guess my question is, and we're asking everyone, do you think Teddy would have acknowledged the bow tie? Do you think they would have had a better showing? Because their group was clearly weak.
First of all, look, these guys actually went to school. What have we been saying from the start? The other three guys walk out with notes. Yeah. You're doing a damn stand-up outside of Yankee Stadium with a notebook? Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's broadcasting 101. I don't want to be harsh, but these guys seem to figure it out. That's why they took the step. No offense to the whole group. Somebody's got to know and say, what the hell are we doing with these notebooks there? Yeah. It was amateur night.
It's amateur hour, definitely. But Teddy, I want to ask you that question, dude. Do you think that you could have taken 02 and Harrison to victory?
I think you change the dynamic of any of the teams, and it can be different. I would like to think, believing in my ability, that whoever I work with, I can help us give the best chance to win. That has to be the confidence that I have in myself, and not try to cutthroat or undermine anybody, because that's not me. I said something I probably shouldn't have said, and I regret that. But I believe in myself. That you put me with, Matt, you put me with you and Cam, and I hope that we would be able to win a challenge. Not because I'm the leader of the team, but because we work well together.
I if I can answer the question, I just don't think that it would have helped to have Teddy as a part of Harrison or O2's group, because there's strengths and huge weaknesses with both. Like, Corey didn't acknowledge the bow tie, but Teddy stumbled through most of his hosting.
I was going to say, and I actually wanted to ask you, Teddy, do you think that the lights going out, to use Bruno's word, rattled you? Because I really think it did. I mean, your intro and extra, we saw it here. It wasn't
really
your finest
did.
work.
I don't mean to cut you off, but yeah, it did.
Yeah.
And you can see, and this is something that I've noticed in a lot of times when I'm on camera, I get kind of caught up in the lights. You know what I mean? Even if they're out, when people are around me, my eyes kind of wander and I lose focus, and that really showed.
Yeah. Boys, did you think that it had like anything to do with the lights going out? I know it was in the moment. It doesn't really come across on screen, but it was a big moment for everyone. The cast, the crew, you guys who were in the middle of it. We all kind of held our breath. What was it like?
You know what? Personally, for me, I don't think it affected me at all. I mean, I was pretty comfortable because really, I'm telling the truth. Because at this point in the competition, I was like, you know what? You've had some rough patches, but you've still done a pretty good job. And I was just so relaxed on the last challenge. So I'm like, you know what? The lights go out, but big deal. You're still gonna get it. You're still gonna get a chance to finish this segment. It's not like, oh, the lights go out, now it's done, and, you guys are screwed.
Yeah.
I don't know how you felt.
I agree with Bruno. It was a big moment for me as well. And it's funny, as soon as the lights went out and we had a chance to get together quickly, I said to these guys, I think we just nailed that first part, so I don't know if we'll be able to get better. But like he said, the lights went out, we had to deal with it. We just took it all in really quickly and then just went at it and nailed it again.
That's why we felt so confident, because before the lights went out, we had pretty much nailed it, exactly like Brett said. So we said, as long as we continue this and do the exact same thing again, then there's no way.
To be fair,
we're
you
not
guys
gonna
nailed
win
15
this.
seconds, and then the lights.
It was
like you're in the
15
middle of the
seconds.
production
I don't
here.
know
Just
about that.
let's calm it
And
down.
you
You know
guys
what I
hadn't
mean?
even
I
spoken
don't know
yet.
about
It was
that.
all
These guys
Teddy.
think they were on fire.
Simmer down, Drapel.
All I'm saying.
Give him a little bit of love
Listen,
here, right?
Jackie's not here. I gotta be the one that gives the old knife in the back kind of thing. No, like. Anyway, Teddy, I think we're going to say goodbye because we got tons to go through. But thanks so much for joining us again. And obviously, we love ripping you and all that stuff, but we love having you a part of the show, obviously. Cool?
Thanks, guys. Happy birthday, Bruno.
Thanks a lot.
Oh, yes.
You had to throw that.
Anthony Bruno.
Let's give Teddy some props for owning up to it, because you went in the heat of the moment. Things are going to happen. He admitted he made some mistakes. But he watched it and said, yeah, that was stupid. And you know what? That's good, because we all make mistakes. And the fact that he owned up to it, I think that he's the bigger man. But these guys, obviously, they were the key. They did a great job.
It is also tough in the moment, and I think the fans at home realize that too. It's like when you're in the show, you don't really always know that you flubbed that line or you tripped on your tongue or something like that. You often think that maybe you completely nailed it, and you're not fully aware of those little things. But Bruno, is it your actual birthday? Is this how you're spending your birthday here with us?
This is my actual birthday
You're
right
turning
now.
14. Congratulations, buddy. Way to go. Way to go.
So close to puberty.
Hey, so close.
23 actually.
23,
all right? So
eh?
I'm not as
I
young
don't
as.
believe that.
Did you
as
get
some
anything?
people
Like,
might
did you get
think.
anything for your birthday? Your parents get you
got to
something?
go to the Yankees game.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
This
fair
is- I
enough.
win the challenge finally. I
Finally.
finally win an assignment on Gillette Drafted.
How
I
was
can't
it?
ask for anything better than that.
How was it getting your first win? I know it meant a lot to you. We
Oh
talked
my
about it actually
goodness.
that day. What was it like?
And you know what? I say in the show that I'm so happy, but I was just more relieved because I'm like, it's about damn time that you finally win, because I've done a lot of good things in this competition. And I felt like there were a couple challenges that I could have easily won if it weren't for, little technicalities here and there. Obviously, I owned up. I owned up to the
mistakes. They're
I
not
owned up to the
technicalities, but
mistakes. Yeah,
continue,
I
please.
agree. And I finally said, you know what? You brought it all together. And if you don't win this one, I don't know what you're gonna win.
Yeah, well, the judge definitely thought you did a good job. And speaking of the judge, we have her on the phone. Jackie Redmond, you there?
Hey guys, what's up?
Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
I'm sorry I
going?
couldn't be there.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to explain why you can't be here?
I sure do. Yates Cup tomorrow, you guys. Western Queens, only on Sportsnet 360.
Only on Sportsnet 360. We're only going to plug that 7 more times during the after show. So just to let you know, that's 1 down. Jackie, while we have you, did you have some opening thoughts on the show, maybe about Teddy's comment? I know in the moment, me and you both were slack-jawed.
Well, it wasn't the smartest thing to say, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think in the heat of the moment, I'm not sure why Teddy said it, obviously, but I disagree with what he said. I think that he did an okay hosting job, but I just think to take away from Bruno's big moment that he had been kind of working towards the whole season it was really not. It was very disrespectful, I thought, because I think I forget who said it in the episode, but it wasn't about Teddy in that moment.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't about Teddy. It was definitely more about these guys. And not only Bruno, obviously, Bruno, you won, but Brett, you, honestly, I made the joke, but you finally came to the show. I mean, watching it back, how did you feel watching it back?
It felt amazing.
Yeah.
I felt that this was a culmination of my journey, and slowly I was working towards something that I could finally put everything that I know I have, but I just wasn't able to show in the previous challenges. But I was finally able to put it all together.
Brett basically was, he felt like somebody was cornering him in a street fight, and he came out and said, "Let's go."
Let's go.
Like, I didn't see that from you, because, sometimes at the start you're very passive, polite, but, that's who you are. I saw an anger, like a little bit of a, you know what I mean? Yeah, an edge, and I liked it. I think you should play that sometimes. Because when you have passion for something, feel the passion, show the passion, right?
I appreciate that. And
It's
just after we
interesting,
finished our segment,
on this day, I think the whole day, everyone was kind of just floored by Brett's performance. I mean, the warm-up challenge, he was amazing. He was assertive, and then in the post game, I just thought it was so good. Honestly, Brett floored me. Because at that point, he had kind of not really been on the radar.
Yeah.
But I mean, to say he nailed it, even I think is an understatement. It was between Bruno and Brett. It was a 1A, 1B situation. I mean, their conversation about that particular baseball game was arable.
No, and that's actually my question. The 1A, 1B, it was really close. So I want to know, do you think, Brett, that the fact that Bruno stole your standalone at the end,
Here we go.
do you think that cost you this? Because it definitely made Bruno look better to us. I mean, we watched not only the panel, but we watched Bruno do a standalone. And do you think that gave him slightly the edge?
Well, I think that him being there and having his own player of the game segment, it made him stand out even more so than he did in the panel. But I, to be honest, was just happy and blessed to hear Jackie say one with my name, whether it was with an A or with a B, just to hear one, because to me, the number of challenges I know is important, but just to get myself up there and to finally shine, it was good. But to be honest, when Bruno was doing his player of the game, I was pacing around and saying what I probably would have said if I had that moment to myself.
There was an amazing moment, though, where I definitely think that you thought Bruno was taking you to the baseball game, like we all did.
As soon as you and Jackie said, "But we love you, you're not going to be going on your own," I had a big smile on my face and I looked at him, just waiting for him to say my name.
Actually, I want to know, Bianca, what did you think of that? Did you think that Bruno was going to take Brett? I honestly, I would have bet $1,000.
I was hoping he was gonna come out of left field and be like, "Harrison, you and me, man."
Yeah, but you just love Harrison. Come on, like.
Speaking of Jackie, you're not in Harrison's bathroom calling us, are you?
Oh,
What? Nothing. That was Matt. That was Matt.
Things are getting
Matt.
14A over
Your
here on the
friend's
Aftershow.
pretty feisty there, eh, Redmond?
No, Cam, what do you
What?
think? What did you think of Bruno's decision to take Andrew Corey?
Actually, you know
we've
what?
talked about this.
I liked it.
Yeah. Did you?
I think Andrew Corey, for people who know, he's actually got a lot of charisma.
He does.
When he's doing these challenges, he's almost in his own head and he's not coming across as good as he should. You meet this guy afterwards, which I've done a couple times, he's the type of guy I'd like to go out for a night on the town with. He's entertaining, he's funny, he has a lot of charisma. It's just a shame that things haven't been going well, and sometimes in a competition you get in your own head. That's where he is right now. But I can tell you something, he's a lot better than what he's showing, and I think that was the right thing to do. He's a nice guy, and you know what? If I had a buddy in the competition who was getting smoked and not really feeling good about himself, why not go to a ball game, have a couple beers, and talk it over? That's what friends do.
And that's how I felt at the time, because if you could see my face when I had to decide, I was immediately thinking, oh my goodness, Brett or Corey, because I roomed with Corey in Boston, and we became pretty good friends, and obviously he was going through a rough patch, over the course of like 3 episodes it was. But then I'm like, man, without Brett, there's no way we win this challenge. So I'm like, what do I do here?
Tough call.
But my gut was telling me, bring Corey, because this guy is in the dumps right now. He needs to be lifted up, and you can do something good for him. Make him feel better.
I think it was a great move, especially because I have to think, I think Corey was actually quite weak in this challenge once again. And I know we were discussing with the hashtag, whether it was Teddy hosting that, whether the others would have done better. I don't think so personally. I don't put it all on Andrew Corey. I think it was the dynamic, and like you were saying before. Jackie, what do you think about the hashtag question this week? Do you think that Teddy could have rescued that group?
maybe if he pointed out the bow tie, I don't know.
No, it's a good point, though. It's a good point.
I don't think that either of the hosting roles, went as well as they could have. But I also think that, being the host it's a difficult task. You kind of have to be the traffic cop. You kind of have to make sure that things move smoothly, and that you're introing the show, you're ending the show. There's a lot to take on. So that's a hard job. I think both guys tried their best. Teddy did better than Corey, but not by much, I don't think. I think they're pretty interchangeable, actually.
I can't stress this enough. As the host, you have to look at the notebooks and hide them behind a bush.
Yeah.
You cannot go and do a stand-up on national TV with notepads.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane.
I don't care if it's a competition, you haven't landed a job yet. It is absolutely nuts. And somebody should have, and you know what I mean? These guys, you can't rely on the producers or the other guys around, you know what I mean, to tell you. That's something you have to know in your head. Screw the chewing gum stuff. Like having notes and doing a stand-up, that's just, to me, that's crazy.
And I guess,
go ahead, Jackie. I felt a little bit bad for Joseph O2 watching that back, because I know that they had pre-planned to make this bow tie sort of a prop and a joke, and that Andrew Corey was supposed to address it, and it was going to be this whole thing. And, we kind of ripped O2 for it on that day in New York, and, I don't think he's totally to blame for that. And when you take the bow tie away, I think that the things that Harrison and O2 had to say were relevant, minus the tennis racket comment. I didn't really understand that example.
That analogy. Yeah, thank you, Jackie. I
really
completely agree. That was a bizarre analogy. But
But a bow tie made of Scrabble tiles, too.
Their content was good, but at the end of the day, they just did not have the chemistry that Bruno and Brett had, and that's why they lost.
I was going to say, the point of this challenge is to show, this is pure sports journalism here, okay? Yep. This challenge. You're supposed to show your ability to understand the game and deliver the content informatively, entertainingly, and also confidently. And that's what we did. So the other team, I was watching theirs. I'm like, why are they using this whole bow tie shtick and all that? I'm like, the point of this challenge is to watch the baseball game and break it down like you would see on Sportsnet.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to show.
So I got one last question for Jackie before she goes, because obviously she has the Yates Cup to prepare. Make sure you catch that on Sportsnet 360, the only place you can find it. Okay, so Jackie, my question to you is, Joseph O2 started off arguably the front runner in the first couple weeks. He's kind of, I don't want to say fallen off the cliff. He's slipping. Do you think there's time for him to recover, Jackie?
I do think he's slipped the last couple of challenges, but I think that where he has succeeded, he's done extremely, extremely well.
Yeah.
And, his strength, obviously, I think, is interviews, and that's not something that you find every day. And you know what? Everything can change next week. I mean, you look at this week, all it took was one day for Brett and Bruno to really put themselves on the map. And I think next week, if O2 knocks it out of the park, you can say the same for him. It's one of those things where there could be an argument made for a lot of people at this point. It's very interesting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely an interesting situation with O2. We were talking about before whether who's really the front runner, and O2 doesn't really get brought up. But Jackie's right; things can change so quickly. Mm-hmm. There is one more assignment coming up next week. Obviously, we didn't see a teaser, but there is one more assignment coming up next week. So we're going to see if anyone can take one more giant leap forward. Jackie, we're going to let you go.
Hang on 1 second, Maddie.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing before I go.
Okay.
I am whooping your butt in fantasy right now, 72, and I just wanted to take the opportunity to really rub it in.
Okay, hang on 1 second, Jackie. Hang on 1 second. Everything can change, just like in Gillette Drafted. Everything can change in fantasy hockey on a Saturday night. But yes, I have to admit, for everyone at home, Jackie and I are paired up this week. We're playing each other in fantasy hockey, and yes, her team is dominating Varlamov.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
Team, oh no, she didn't.
Oh no, she didn't. Get out of here. Matt Duchesne is going to rescue me.
Okay, I need to say something to the both of you, because the Yates Cup is not only on Sportsnet 360, it is also on Sportsnet Ontario.
Yes, I did hear that in my ear as well. So Sportsnet, pretty much all across the board, is Yates Cup coverage. Jackie, I hope you have a great time. I'm sure you're going to do great.
I will. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay.
You guys are going to watch, right?
Oh, ovs.com. Ovs.com.
You're going to be in that adorable coat, Jackie.
Brett, aren't you from Queens?
Yeah, aren't you? Yeah.
I went to Queens. Yeah, I'll be cheering the Gales on all day.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, very nice. Okay,
I'll be
Jackie,
watching.
we'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, Jackie.
See ya.
Okay, so now I'm not sure if we have it queued up yet. but we do have a little bit of a little Photoshop game with the bow tie. Do we have that queued up, Producer Will? Okay, so we're going to go to you right now. It's more of a bow tie gate 2013. Let's check it out. We got O2 rocking the bow tie. That's the original. Who do we got? Okay, this is what all 6 would look like with the bow tie.
Who wore it best?
Who wore it best? Yes, like Us Weekly. What else do we got here? See, now we got the individuals. Andrew, Corey, see, it doesn't work there. I don't think that works.
He can't pull it off.
He can't pull it off. Next, who do we got?
Well, it also depends on which.
Oh, see, that's just a bad look in general.
No deal.
No way.
What do we got? Okay.
I think he can pull it off.
Oh, stop it, Bianca. Of course you're going to start.
Bianca,
You're
this
the worst.
is getting stupid.
Yeah,
Look
it's
at
getting
that.
too
Look at Brett. Hold
Nice.
on.
Right, yeah,
No, that looks natural. That looks natural.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I can
Not
pull
terrible.
that.
Why
off. Are you
not?
kidding me?
Not
No,
terrible.
that's terrible.
Not terrible.
Bruno, please don't ever do that. That. See, with the glasses, that works.
Yeah, right.
With the glasses.
I love it.
Who do we have next?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
Nice.
working
You
it.
look good in anything.
That doesn't look photoshopped at all.
You
That doesn't look
Hey!
photoshopped.
Ballin'!
Okay,
Wow.
That's the last.
we did have a little fun, but it's an
Get these
interesting.
pictures from.
It's an interesting moment
Yeah.
in the show because O2 kind of took himself not out of the competition, but he was thinking what was best for the group. But you guys know that this is an individual competition. Do you think that he sacrificed himself too much? Do you think he put the group too much above himself? Gonzalez, what do you think?
If I was on his group, if I was in his team, I would have not let him leave the hotel with that bow tie on.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Well, you were telling me before off camera that you told him not to.
Yeah, Bruno and Joe too were rooming in New York, so I went into Bruno's room to talk about the outfits that we were wearing. Not that we were trying to coordinate them or anything, but I saw Joe too.
For sure.
I saw Joe too wearing that bow tie, and I said, "Bro, is that part of your outfit for the panel?" And he said, "Yeah, we're gonna do a light, kind of comical theme." And I said, "May not be such a great idea, but you know,
As
your
Harrison
call."
said, it's a choice.
It's a choice. That's
And he
fine.
said, "No, I'm gonna rock it, and we're gonna go with it." And I said, "All right, like your call. I wouldn't have done it. I'd recommend you not do it, but."
It's
Yeah,
so
listen.
risky to
Yeah.
put yourself in the hands of someone else, especially, sorry to say, when it's Andrew Corey and he's not on his game.
Yeah. No, listen, no, it's a good, you have to know who you're working with. I completely
Yeah.
agree. Cam?
This isn't Carrot Top at the MGM Grand with a tickle trunk full of toys. You got to remember something with props. You got to pull it off, or you look like a chump.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, and it just can't be about the prop. It has to be. That's the thing. You're just, not only are you guys in a competition where it's a little bit stiff. Now, when you come out with something like that, you have to even. You know what I mean? You got enough pressure just pulling off a regular stand-up. So I'm gonna say, lose the props. Even though I enjoyed the Scrabble tiles, it was very original, but
I
it's not a good move.
I'm
It's
actually
tough.
so happy that he chose to wear it because it made for my favorite moment of the show. And we have a clip of it. Let's roll that clip.
This is the greatest ever.
It's so good.
Check it out. Check it out. Of your fellow panel members.
The bow tie. It was a choice. It was a choice.
The creak of that chair
creak
is
of
the
the chair-
best
no.
part.
You know, he's unbelievable. And speaking of which, we have him on the phone. Harrison, what's going on, man?
Freaks.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. We also have O2, Mr. Bowtie himself. What's up?
Yo, what's going on?
O2.
The
O2.
infamous.
So now, O2, I want to start right with you, buddy. Do you,
Yeah.
I don't want to say regret the bow tie, but do you regret the bow tie?
You know, well, it's funny that Brett, talking about coming into the room and talking about the bow tie, because that's what we thought we were doing, taking advantage of our strengths. And we had something that we were going to work with. And we had our host. He was going to hit something at the beginning of the show, and it was going to fly into what we were going to talk about outside Yankee Stadium. But when it doesn't come off, Cam's right. You look like a Yahoo. And that's, you know what, I have regrets because it didn't work. And execution means everything on Gillette Drafted. So, yeah, it sucks when it doesn't work. But
Great
our plan was
originality.
sound, but it didn't work out.
If I can ask Harrison, I mean, you said that, you were hoping that Corey would ask about the bow tie and mention it. When you saw that he wasn't about to, why didn't you bring it up?
It's a great question.
That is a good question. I guess I could have relayed it and tried to corral the story to make it not to hang Joe out to dry there with the bow tie. I guess I was just trying to focus on my content and what I had to say, and roll from there, because I didn't want to throw anybody off course too much.
Harrison, it's interesting, man. You've been kind of a front runner, obviously, the last couple weeks. Do you feel that you're kind of I don't want to say weaker performance, but clearly we've all discussed that your group wasn't very strong. Do you think that this hurt your overall chances? Obviously, there's only 2 weeks to go before the finale.
Well, for me on this show, I think it's about consistency, and I don't feel that I performed poorly. Of course, my group wasn't a representation of that, and I, take full responsibility in my part for my team not winning. At the same time, I think if you look at my body of work, I've shown that I've been consistent and that I haven't made big blunders, and I'm trying to just do the best job that I can, given the high-pressure circumstances that the show entails. This wasn't perhaps my best showing, but I think that overall I'm still someone to talk about.
Cam, do you agree? Do you think that this hurt Harrison overall? I mean, I agree with him what he's saying with the consistency, but it wasn't a strong showing. It wasn't. I mean, nothing really flowed there. There was no solid content.
I look at it as a group thing.
Yeah.
The whole group could have done better. I think O2 knows he could have done better. Harrison knows he could have done better. Corey's a great guy, but still in his own head. The whole thing was it was discombobulated from the start. It didn't feel right with the books, everything. Just, there were the other guys, these guys did so much better. Like, you know what I mean? It was like night and day. But you look at Harrison's body of work, is what he says, and we have to look at that. He's been at the top in almost every competition, every challenge. So we have to look at him and say, yeah, he's still around. I'm just saying, those guys, the whole team, they didn't do themselves any favors in that competition, but there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
Which gets us back to the hashtag, and because we have O2 and Harrison on the phone, like, guys, what do you think? I mean, I don't want to rip on Andrew Corey here, because obviously we love the guy, but do you kind of wish you had Teddy there hosting? Do you think he would have acknowledged the bow tie? Do you think as a group you guys would have arguably won the challenge?
No, that's not fair, because it was such a different dynamic for our group, because we had the whole day. If you remember, Teddy went to Yankee Stadium to do his perk.
Yes.
So Bruno and Gonzo got a chance to work and make it happen in the hotel room. And the three of us, we were meeting. Like, me, Corey, and Harrison had a plan. So it just didn't come off. And Cam's right, man. It's so much about execution. When it doesn't work, it looks so bad on everybody. And he is a great guy. And unfortunately, what we always say on the camera about how he's so personable in the van and so much charisma in the van, it just hasn't come out on the screen. It's unfortunate, because we had a really good plan.
It's a lesson to all you guys, and you talk about, I've seen, and this is a competition, like even guys who are winning, it's easy to get in your own head. The minute you don't do something well, you're thinking, oh, I could have done it this way. And the key is you got to be like that guy. Have a short memory, man. Like a golfer who puts one in the trees, short memory, tee it up again, screw it, I'll just take a bogey and move on. That's how you have to attack it. You have to attack it like you're going to make mistakes in the competition. You can't let them compound.
Yeah.
You just have to move forward and be positive. It's very, very hard, man. And it's something that you learn in broadcasting too. Or if something goes sour, you got to make a joke out of it. You got to take it in a different direction to make it not a train wreck. And it's you guys have been doing a pretty good job, but I feel bad for Corey, because I know he could do better, but I see things perpetuating when it goes bad.
So, O2, I got actually one more question for you, dude. We were talking about it before. You had such a strong first couple episodes. You've kind of dropped off a bit. How do you feel now, like, at this stage in the competition?
I feel like my potential outweighs my mistakes, and I feel like the things that have happened to me have only made me a stronger broadcaster. Those mistakes that have kind of knocked me down, they're fixable, They're things that I'm going to learn, because I'm making mistakes because I'm trying new things. I want to do TV. I have done radio. I've done journalism. I want to work on TV, and I make mistakes because I want to try new things. And that's a part of growth, really. I mean, I'm going to make mistakes because I want to get better.
I agree.
Guys, anything for Harrison and Joe, too, before we let them go?
Sorry, Harry, I wasn't able to meet up with you when I was in Saskatoon.
You're just crossing the country.
It's
Like, what's
here. I seriously, I drove out here the 20 hours it took from Vancouver to Saskatoon, and it's really not lovely.
Oh, really?
Minus 18.
It's a beautiful, I'll say this, beautiful place, City of Bridges. I absolutely love Saskatoon and Saskatchewan. And I'm from the Prairie, so it makes me feel comfortable being back home here.
Harrison
But
knows a lot of
I
underrated musicians
just
from
don't
that
like
area
cold.
too.
Oh, are they?
Trust me, Saskatoon. I used to live up in the Northwest Territories. All the best session musicians all came from the prairies, man. What are you going to do?
That's
There's
right.
a lot of time to play music
Sheepdogs,
up there.
baby.
Yeah, you
Okay,
say it,
and
Harrison.
before we go, I just heard in my ear, did someone
Yeah, no,
actually like the
so-
bow tie? Don't tell me we
well,
got
Good
tweets about this.
tiles.
Some guy on Twitter, Rye Guy, first of all said that he liked the bow tie when the show was on. And now he's saying that he can't believe it's become such a big deal because it's just a bow tie. It shouldn't have become such a big issue.
No, but okay, listen, this is Rash over at One Mount Pleasant. He actually works for Sportsnet. Fantastic guy. I love him. But I got to disagree with you, Rash. I mean, it is a big deal. I mean, it's like you were saying, if you're going to bring out a prop, if it doesn't work, you look like an idiot.
But you know what? It's not all O2's fault, though. It was a team competition.
But
it
he
was up to
owned
them.
it. I mean, he wore it. You know what I mean?
I get it.
He didn't put it on Andrew Corey. He wore it. I can't
I'm just
believe
saying,
he did
Matt,
it.
if me and you were doing a show and you come out with a bow tie and a clown, we're going to talk about it before we do our thing. It's
For
a
sure.
team thing, right?
For sure.
So it works both ways. I think it took balls to come out with it. The problem was they didn't embrace it. And when you don't embrace props, you're dead.
But I just think it really hurt him. But that's
It
it. Gonzalez.
I just want to touch on the talk of the dynamics between the two groups. And I really feel that the biggest thing that I was able to show was my confidence. And I think as soon as we got into our teams at the NFL debate, and then we heard that we were going to do the post-game panel, I was just so confident because I felt like we had the perfect team. Because Bruno and I are huge baseball fans.
Yeah.
Teddy's strength was
Hosting.
being the leader, hosting. And
Yeah.
so we all came together and said, I'll do this and I'll throw to you two. I'm thinking in my head, if I was on a team with Harrison and Bruno, all three of us big baseball fans, we'd all want to talk and do analysis. There wouldn't necessarily be a guy who'd be
It's
able to do the
interesting.
hosting
It's
so well.
interesting.
So I think the dynamics did play a huge part too.
Okay, so we got to say goodbye to Harrison and Joe too, guys. Thanks for joining us again. We love you guys. Obviously only a few weeks left, so we'll talk to you again and see you guys again real soon. Okay?
Thank you so much. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay,
Got
see you
it,
guys. So we got more Twitter
Just,
action.
just one last thing. It's actually from Jackie.
Oh.
Surprisingly, not about my bathroom dig.
Okay. what is it about now? Like what? My hair.
just-
She doesn't like my hair. What's
She
going
just
on?
wants to remind you that Harrison still placed third in the competition. So it's not that he did a bad job. He was the best in his group. He's not sliding.
It
He's
is a
still
good
up
point,
there.
but as we talked all about, it was these two guys head and shoulders above everybody else. Yes, Harrison did do well, but like clearly it was these two.
And I have to say, like, I love snarking on everybody, and when there's like this much of a bad effort put in, I love to dig at it. But you guys were fantastic,
It really
and I'm
was.
sorry, I know Bruno won, but Brett in particular. And I think it's because you haven't showed like this yet.
Yeah.
And I was just completely blown away
No,
with
it
you.
was night and day. Gonzalez, night
Yeah.
and day, man. Honestly, I can't believe you didn't go to the game with Bruno.
Well, the good news is my birthday is in July, smack dab in the middle of Blue Jays season. So hopefully Bruno and I will be able to go to a game on my birthday.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
Bruno
we
should
can- we
take
can
you at the
work
very
something
least.
out. Nothing fancy, somewhere up in the
But Bruno,
500s.
because it is your birthday, we put together a little behind-the-scenes footage, not only of you forgetting your stuff in the van, which he did every single day. For those of you who don't know, every day Bruno would forget something in our van and have to go ask for the keys anyway. Bruno, we put together a little montage, some video, some behind-the-scenes video of you at Yankee Stadium. So let's take a look at what we got. Should we all hug? That was the line.
I like that.
That's a good line.
I'm just kidding. Nah, he's really cute. It's unfortunate he lives in Canada, you know. We wish he lived in New York.
I wish I was in New York City. Man, I'm
Good
missing
place,
out.
good-looking girl.
Do you think that this guy should be Canada's next sportscaster?
Absolutely. And it should come to America and have fun with us too.
Thank you, girls. Wow.
Easy birthday boy.
Yeah, Bruno. Amazing work, Cam.
Bruno's a real stud. This guy's on fire.
No, he's on fire. It's
Winning competitions. Ladies from other cities just want to be he lives in Woodbridge. He's
I'm on a
doing
roll
all
right
right.
now.
Now you are. You're feeling it. We should go to the casino, Bruno, because
I'm ready, man.
I'm
Let's go.
ice cold. I need your good vibes.
I'm just blown away with the confidence. I don't know, Cam. I don't have that confidence. I mean, when I was, especially Bruno, 23. I mean, I was obviously I was a big boy, but I spent most nights at home, eating a bag of smart food, crying.
That's
right?
like me, Matt. It's the way things work for me too. I'm that pitcher that'll give you 7 strong innings, but I just can't get the complete game. The girls come over, and then my buddies are the ones going home, and I got a barrel of Haagen-Dazs watching Dateline NBC at 1 o'clock in the morning, seeing how guys are killing their neighbors. You know what? I am the best starter, But and when I get with
depressing.
ladies, I'm in the friend zone. I'm the big friendly bear, Orso Grande. That's just the way it works.
Yeah, or so
You have to give a little credit to Corey, though. I heard he was quite the wingman.
You know what? Don't give him too much credit. Don't give him Corey